Hi students. So this is your week 8 overview, and the overview part's going to be pretty quick. Then I want to go through the paper guidelines in a little more depth. So overview is straightforward. I'm giving you a pretty light set of readings this week. You only have one chapter from Leaving India, chapter 3, which I think actually I may have put the wrong name in there. I think I said salt. It's actually, I think, bread. It's the next chapter. I'm pretty sure it's bread, actually. So if you read salt, that's coming later too. So you won't really miss anything. I'm going to read both of them. Then what I want you to do is go to the Kaylee channel in Slack and choose 3 of your classmates' performances and watch or listen to them and pay them a compliment. So normally in class, we would clap at the end of somebody's performance. We'd all clap for them, and we can't do that easily here. So find something nice to say, something you liked about what they presented, and read the accompanying introductory material they post. And yeah, for the compliment, feel free to use a GIF. It doesn't have to be anything formal. Then things you're going to write aside from that. The main thing we're doing this week is workshopping the rough drafts. I've put you in small groups. You have group assignments in your email and on the Slack. There's 4 to 5 people in each group. What I would like you to do is read 3 of the rough drafts. If you have 5 people in your group and you want to read a 4th one, that would be great, but is not required. Hopefully this way everyone will get at least 3 other people, with any luck, reading and giving feedback on their work. You should write a half page to a page of critique suggestions for them. You can also, write directly on it as if they've, I'm not sure what formats everyone used to present the rough drafts. If it's a Google Doc and you can write on it, great, but endnotes are fine. But I would recommend using my rubric, the paper guidelines, and kind of read that through first and then look for those things as you're going through the rough draft. And then for yourself, you need to revise your own paper. I'm asking people to get feedback in by Saturday at noon so everyone has some time to revise. The papers are due Sunday midnight. If you can get it in even sooner, that would be great. Normally we would do this during a class period. So if you have time, say Thursday morning, 9:30 to 11, you could, during a scheduled class time, you could do it all then. So you shouldn't be spending a ton of time on this. Usually, I would say 10 to 15 minutes per paper is great to read and to write comments. Okay, so that's the overview. Let me know if you have any questions on the Slack. The guidelines are broken into sections: introduction, body structure, body evidence, conclusion, overall. I'm not going to read them all out to you right now, but there are a few things I want to point out. One, hopefully everyone has gone through, workshopped, made a strong argumentative claim. So the first section should be pretty good. The intro should preview each of the main sections of the paper. So you're not only saying what the claim is, but what you're going to be using to support it. You definitely want to include the titles and the authors of the text that you'll be using in the intro. When you keep going into the body structure, there's a lot of it is about, does this make logical sense? Is it straightforward? Is it easy to read? Can you tell from the intro what's going to come later? And does the writer actually deliver that when you keep going? So there's a lot of little specifics about that. I want to highlight one note about paragraphing. Sometimes I get students who are told, maybe in high school, that you should start a paragraph with every new thought. That's really misleading, because for this kind of academic paper, when we say a new thought, we mean something kind of like a big concrete block of thought. So essentially a body paragraph. So in a 4 to 5 page paper, I expect to see 4 to 5 paragraphs, one for the intro, one for each body paragraph, and one for the conclusion. Hopefully that's clear. If you have 20 paragraphs in that size paper, then your organizational structure is going to be much less clear to the reader. It'll be more confusing, okay? Evidence. And evidence is another area where I find that students often run into trouble. So let's say we're looking at a body paragraph. You want to have at least 3 pieces of evidence, and these would be quotes in an English paper. Quotations from the text are your data, right? Like science, but we use quotes. And in a body paragraph, I'd expect to see at least 3 quotes to support whatever it is you're arguing in your topic sentence for that paragraph. The reason I say 3 is just because if you only had one example from the text, if you're like, I don't know, whatever it is, if you're writing a paper about The Lord of the Rings and Tolkien, and you wanted to argue that Tolkien was super racist, and you see that in the way he depicts the orcs, let's say that's your thesis, and you gave one line out of the book to support that, or one scene out of the movie, well, something happening just once could just be an accident. It could be just a sort of somewhat random incident. It's not really enough to prove anything. Even if something happens twice, it could just be coincidence, right? Once we start getting 3 examples, 4 examples, 5 examples, you start aiming towards proof. If you think about that essay that you read by Chang with the different caricatures out of the newspapers, he didn't just give you one caricature and show you how racist it was towards the Irish. He gave you one after another after another. And I think the more you see of those, the more convincing it is, right? And the more shocking it is. So that's what you're looking for when you're writing a paper. For your body paragraph, after your topic sentence, what I'd expect to see is a topic sentence, then a quotation supporting it, then a line of analysis from you explaining how it connects to your topic sentence. You always have to include the analysis, because if you just put the quote, someone else might read the quote a different way. So you want to explain to the reader, this is why I think this quote is supporting my argument. Then a second quote and some analysis, then a third quote and some analysis, and then you kind of wrap up with connecting it all back to your claim, and generally one sentence that's also going to transition to the next body paragraph. So, we've now proved blah, 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 which supports my argument. We're now going to move on to a different example of, I don't know, how the elves in Tolkien are also racist in a completely different way. Because they're supernatural and therefore better than humans, and really the elves stand in for white people. I don't know. I just made that up. But that's the kind of transition that you would do as you go into your second body paragraph. Okay. Conclusions is pretty quick. Please check for grammar errors, spelling mistakes, and typos. I don't generally take off points for them because honestly, I don't think it's the most important thing at this stage. I'm more interested in your argumentation. But if there are errors, they're distracting. It makes it harder to read. So it slows me down, and it would generally slow the reader down, and it undermines confidence in your arguments. So so definitely check for that. And if grammar and spelling and punctuation is not a strength of yours, maybe English is a second language, in which case I'm very impressed that you're writing papers in English at all. I can't write papers in any other language. Find somebody. Hopefully you have a friend, a family member, somebody who can check this for you, and maybe the people in your group workshop will be able to give you some good feedback there and help you out. I encourage you all to use the Slack to talk back and forth and give each other good help in the next few days. Okay, so I think that's it. I look forward to reading your papers next week. And if you have any questions, ask me in the Slack. As I said, I hurt my wrist. It is actually really in quite a lot of pain, so I hope I was coherent here. I took Advil, but it's not working all that well yet. Maybe it'll kick in soon. So I'm going to try and not type too much this week, but I can always jump on Zoom and talk to you if you have questions. And I'll remind you that the office hour Zoom times that are set up already are Tuesday at 5, Thursday at 9:30, and Saturday at 2. So one of those should work for all of you. And if those don't work for whatever reason, we can set another time. Okay, that's really it for this week. Next week, we're going to start reading Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart, which I'm guessing a couple of you may have read in high school, in which case you're a little ahead of the game. Okay, bye.